This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
This is Morphin Network. I'm Quasar Red, and you know my partner, Ryan, aka Daggerboy. And we have a very special guest with us tonight, live from New Zealand. It's Kapri herself, Kat Browne. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm really well, thank you.
It's great to see you.
So,
It's
Kat,
good to see you guys.
we're doing good to see you too. Kat, before we start the interview, how was quarantine life?
I'm a solo mother of 3 children. Quarantine life. So I've been in quarantine for another extra 2 weeks because I traveled. So I'm in my starting my seventh week. And it's long.
Yeah.
I'm homeschooling my children.
Oh.
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
It is. It's hard, but it's the right thing to do. We're doing the right thing to help the vulnerable people and the weak people who actually do need protection from coronavirus. So we're doing a good thing.
Especially. Shout outs to the first responders too for helping us out. So.
And all the people that have been supplying us food and water and all that important stuff that we need during this time.
Absolutely to all the essential workers for keeping the country going. And it's cool because the essential workers aren't they're necessarily the big fancy pants flash people. They are, yes, your doctors, but they're your supermarket workers, the guys who are pushing the trolleys. It's the roadside workers. It's people who don't usually get a lot of recognition. Shout out for me.
So guys, we have again Kat Browne here, aka Kapri. If you guys don't remember what she looked like back then, she did look like back then.
I've hardly aged.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, you're still amazing.
She's immortal.
Here's a different color.
Kat, can you tell us about yourself?
Yes. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Kat Browne. I am one half of the cats that played the evil nieces, the villainesses in Power Rangers Ninja Storm. Me, Kat Browne, Katrina Devine. So, who is like the nicest person in the world. And also a shout out to Katrina for her birthday. That was yesterday. She is the big 4-0 now. So, so I played that role in Power Rangers and loads of other stuff here in New Zealand and through the States and places, England. And I'm a mum of 3 beautiful boys, and I reside in Auckland, New Zealand.
Excellent.
Which is where we film Power Rangers.
Right. Nice.
Which is where Power Rangers is filmed at currently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did you get started in acting?
When did I start? I went to drama school. I'm so old. I have to think about it now. I went to drama school. So I left high school or college and went to drama school, trained for a couple of years, and was really lucky to come straight out of school and go into a television series, like a 26 one-hour episodic television series, straight out of drama school. So I was super lucky. And then I got straight into the Hercules and Xena franchise, which kind of was a nice lead-in to Power Rangers, really.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. I remember watching that when I was like 9, and I was like channel 18 here in the States, and I when I first watched it, just thrown, I was like, wait, you look familiar, and I knew it. It was you.
Yeah, I played a few characters in Herc and Xena, but mostly and then Young Herc as well. I was the Queen of the Amazons. So.
Oh, and speaking of roles that, recognizable and probably not so recognizable, you were also in the first Chronicles movie, Chronicles of Narnia.
I was. I was the swirling dryad cherry tree blossom who took the kids from. I actually just watched it the other night. Just watched the whole, all 3 of them the other day with my children. Not the other day, over consecutive days. So she gave the message to the children of what was happening. That was a great role, actually. Isn't it? As I'm thinking, you're never going to shut me up now. So lots of fun. Took a long time to film. We filmed that, even though I did this much. It was filmed here in Auckland and lots in the South Island. And there was actually an entirely different scene that finished the whole movie, which was a massive scene. And I didn't actually find out it had been cut until I was actually at the screening with all the crew. So there's an alternate ending, and where William, who plays Peter, William was like in love with my tree-like beauty. We're doing a big dance at the coronation. We learned a dance for 6 weeks, training for 6 weeks, learning this dance. I was so bad at dancing they got in a beautiful dancer to be my dance double because I'm very uncoordinated, and he was also really bad. So we trained, and it was a massive big dance, and Mr. Tumnus and everyone was dancing, and anyway, I thought it was how the film finished until I went to the screening and it wasn't in it. So it might have been because I'm a really bad dancer.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of which, we actually have a picture of people wondering what she looked like in Narnia. So.
Oh yeah. So I actually for filming I was like a green screen stuff. I was completely whited out, and yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a very cool thing to be part of.
Yes, very cool effect, very cool movie, and it was amazing that you were part of it.
Yeah. Now go back to Power Rangers. Can you tell us what the audition process was like for Power Rangers?
So gosh, I can still even remember the audition script. That's weird. So I think I auditioned once. I can't actually remember my first audition. It was just a rock up. Like you do so many auditions, you don't remember these. But then I got asked to come for a callback, and I wasn't feeling very well. And I thought, oh, you better go anyway. And I was told that Doug was there, and somebody, maybe even Anne was there, but Doug definitely was there, and wasn't feeling great. And I got put. So there were a whole lot of people on the shortlist for Kapri, and a whole lot of people on the shortlist for Mara, and then they were just putting us together, and I ended up doing it with Kat, got put in with Kat, and I knew her vaguely but didn't really know her, and we just had a blast. Like we clicked like this. We are sisters from other misters. It's the easiest relationship I've ever had on set with anyone ever, and so we did this really awesome audition. Doug was pretty much on the spot. You girls are funny. And I was like, I didn't actually even realize Ninja Storm was a comedy. Do you think they started that out? I don't know that they actually planned it to be a comedy, but it kind of ended up like one, right?
I mean, so I don't know if you noticed, but the previous season before you was actually kind of like darker. So I think Disney wanted to make it a little more comedic or more lighter tone. That's what I think what they wanted.
It did have it.
Hey.
It did have its, intense moments, but it did have some very comedic moments, and you guys were really funny. Like I was watching some scenes the other day, and I was just bawling out laughing.
I wasn't feeling very well, so I drove myself to the hospital because I thought I feel really, really, really bad. And then I was admitted into hospital for 4 days. I had a terrible kidney infection. So it was a bizarre way to audition and get a role. I actually found out in the hospital that I got the role. I was like, oh, that's great. I'm in hospital. But yeah, cool.
Oh my gosh, that's actually kind of cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's an experience you'll never forget.
Yes.
It's an experience I will never forget.
And you work hard too for it, so.
What was the experience like while filming Power Rangers? Like you talked about how you and the other Katrina really clicked. Like, what other fun experiences or like different things what was it like while filming the show?
I think for me, because I'd had a lot of experience working Xena. I've been doing that sort of American television and fantasy superhero stuff for a while, and some other work I'd done as well was sort of along a similar lines, completely different, but it was just such a new experience for the crew as well in New Zealand. It was kind of unlike things that most everyone had done before. The Power Rangers is a really special, evolving franchise, and being the first ones to do Disney obviously made things interesting. I think there was a really fun, light feeling like, okay, there are no rules here. We had free license to do a lot. Katrina and I made up, we could have made up half of our dialogue on the spot, and they were just like, that's very funny, just say whatever you guys want. It was amazing. They literally let us say whatever we liked. There would be just stuff that it would just say, Mara and Kapri talk, and we'd go, okay.
Oh my God.
Talk. So it was loads of fun. And it was a really cool cast to work with, because I don't know about all of the, I don't know, I have my book, but I don't know all about the Power Rangers, but in the past series. But they started off with 3, and then it went to the Thunder Rangers came in, and then Cam came in, and it kind of seemed like a different formula, and exciting and ridiculous amounts of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Playing Mara and Kapri they're just so much fun.
Right.
Yeah. That was, Ninja Storm was really stands out from the previous seasons, new country to film it in and new cast of Rangers. That was our first season to have a female Blue Ranger, so Ninja Storm really experimented with a lot of new things.
And plus, you were a great introduction to the Disney era. That's why it was kind of cool.
Yeah. And for me growing up, so we didn't really have, at that time, we weren't doing a lot of Disney films or anything, weren't really being shot here. Now, not right now under lockdown, but now there's loads of Disney work. But it was really kind of, for New Zealanders, one of the first times when Disney came in and showed us, we had a working relationship with them. So,
do you have any fun, any specific fun BTS moment while filming Power Rangers? Any prankster moment or anything fun happened set?
It was just constant pranks. So we had constant pranking. Well, obviously Mara and Kapri are just being silly the whole time, and we had great fun changing characters the whole time. And I've mentioned it before in conventions and talks and things, but those characters became. I just had to do all the bad stuff. I had to have spiders on me. I got the food on my face. I wore the braces. It was always me. So at some point, Katrina owes me a lot for this, a lot. But it always was the time when it was the spiders, and the producer Janine Dickinson rang me. She said, "Oh, Kat, look, we've got this idea where you're facing your fear, and we thought your fear could be spiders. Will you have these large spiders crawl over you?" And I was like, "Oh, Katrina's doing it, right?" And she said, "Yes." Yes, she is. And I went, "Oh, okay." And I went to sleep that night thinking, "Oh God, I don't really like spiders, but I'm part of a show, pitch in and get it done." And I got to set the next day. They literally threw it on me the night before. And I got to set the next day, and I was like, "Katrina, this is terrifying, isn't it?" And she said, I said no. I just went, "You said no?" So she said no, and I said yes. Everyone thought it was hilarious. And it was they literally closed the set down. I didn't have a makeup artist. Nobody wanted to be in there with these spiders. But aside from just the characters, we had Pua, who was a constant practical joker. So there was never a day where there wasn't laughter or ridiculous practical jokes going on the entire time. It was constantly, is this legit or is somebody we never had a clue. It was stupid amounts of fun. I
do remember that spider episode. I didn't know it was actually real spiders. So
I could not do that.
Do you know? 1 second, I'm just going to tell my child to go away. Go away! I'm laughing. He's like, called arachnophobia, I think, a long time ago. And there's these spiders called Avondale spiders, so they can't hurt you, but they are big, large spiders, and it's awful. I've done spiders, I've done rats, I've done crabs. I've done lots of those awful things.
Dang, you're a real Wonder Woman, just to let you know that.
Yeah, they pay you to do it, otherwise you probably wouldn't do it.
What is your thoughts on the Power Ranger fandom as a whole?
Do you mean the life that is around the community and the fans? Is that what you mean?
The community, the fandom, going to the conventions and getting to meet them.
Yeah, I love conventions. I love conventions so much. I was at a convention just 6 weeks ago called Supernova. It's one in Australia. It's not for I think I was the only Power Ranger there. It's not just Power Rangers, it's everybody. So those are always a bit different. When you're doing your Comic Cons and your animes, they're a bit different to doing something like Morphicon, which is just Power Rangers, which is freaking awesome. But in general, I really, really love conventions because I get to go there and meet all sorts of people. I get to hang out with old friends, old Rangers, old mates, meet new friends, meet fans who have who know my character 1,000 times better than I've ever known the character, who are genuinely invested, and it's so exciting to see them excited about it. And it's so cool because I think at a convention, everyone is welcome. Come as you are. You know, it's such an inclusive space. People because your fans just aren't the guy who likes gaming and watching reading graphic novels. There's a lawyer, there's a doctor, there's a school kid, there's such a diverse range of people, and you get to meet them all. I just think it's such a buzz. Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
And
I
we
love
love
the
you.
questions that come up in panels.
Oh, yeah. I was actually
Yeah,
there.
they're just so-
You're at PMC at your panel. I was actually there.
were you? Were you? Oh, was that
Yeah.
the villains one?
Yeah, the villains one.
And
Yeah, that was
Oh,
fun. That was.
one of my favorite moments from the last MorphiCon was at the villains panel. You get Andrea Kane or
Yes.
Adeline was sitting at the very end, and I asked her that purge question, and you guys were all just like,
I know we go, yeah. How about that? Yeah, we do. Well, because sometimes you're sitting there as the actor, and the person hops up and they can say, "Hi, I'm Kate, and I'm from Utah, and I just want to ask," and you're waiting to see whose name they're going to call, and they say Kat, and you go, "Please let me know the answer to this question." So it's quite a relief when it really because you ask good questions, and when that happens, you're thinking, I don't know how to answer it, and you really just do hope that you can just turn to someone else. It's good fun.
right.
So much fun.
Before Power Rangers, you did mention earlier you were part of Hercules, the TV series. It's also your experience while filming that series, because I used to be a big fan of that when I was younger.
I loved Herc and Xena. So Herc and Xena was amazing. Herc, Xena, Young Herc. So worked with Ryan Gosling. Thank you very much. But Herc and Xena was oodles of fun. Just getting to play fantastical creatures. The costumes were amazing. We're wielding swords. We're, all your childhood dreams come out. And I just had a brilliant time. We did a really great episode called A Wicked Good Time, and it was directed by Adam Nimoy, who's Leonard Nimoy's Dr. Spock's son.
Oh shoot!
And yeah. And it's a really fun episode. And it was a really great way of honing all your skills. Quite fast turnaround shooting. You get loads of action. Working in an American dialect, and working with the Greek gods and the names of the stories that I read growing up. It was like a total privilege.
Sounds amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, and I will always remember you for that. That was like the first time I saw you on screen too. So
Yeah.
And that line, I've been practicing with my sword. That is a very true statement.
Right, exactly. I am really. Oh, how old are the people that are listening to this story?
Oh,
It's not X-rated. There's no swear word. But
well, it's okay. I mean, like 16, 18, 19, 20.
okay. Oh yeah, there's no swear words or anything. But so I was in my first episode of Herc was I think it was called The Prodigal Sister. She wasn't wearing a lot. She's a little Amazonian thing. I don't know, woman, child. And I had a scene, it was April Fool's, so it was like only a few days ago, 20 years ago. And I had to draw my sword. I was fighting Kevin Sorbo, Hercules, and I had to draw my sword. My costume just tied up in a little string. And I drew my sword to fight on these fire logs, and my top fell off completely. Off, literally just went like this. And sorry, so it is X-rated, it's not that X-rated. And in that show, you used to wear these chicken fillet things to make your boobs look bigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they fell out. It was the worst thing. And I just stood there, and it was like an MCU of me. And I'm there, and I just went, April Fools. I don't know what else to say. So that was horrifically embarrassing at the time. I was just like, oh, that's just awesome. It was demeaning and embarrassing, but loads and loads of fun. I'm glad I shared that story.
But hey, you gotta meet Ryan Gosling though, so that was great.
What did you say?
You gotta meet Ryan Gosling though.
I know. My character went up with Ryan Gosling's character for a very long time, and I think that's good. It's a good thing. He's a cool guy. He's a lovely boy, lovely man. Very, very talented across everything, like musically and really generous and just a huge spirit and soul.
What advice do you have for any aspiring actors or actresses?
What advice do I have? So I've got I've got 3 sons, and one of them is massively interested, and he's going to be 1,000 times better than I've ever been. And I think what I noticed in him is that he's really engaged in looking at people. Like when we're out and about, he's looking at people, and then he'll come home and he'll say, "Did you see that person in the cafe? He like kept on took 2 sips of the coffee and then put it back down, and then did the same." Like he's looking for behavioral patterns the whole time in people, which gives you like a really cool, like be a great observer of life. I think is probably what I'm trying to say. Like, don't wait for it to come to you. And nowadays we've got the internet and ways of filming your own stuff. And you're so lucky. When I was doing it, if you weren't in paid work, you weren't getting the work out there. Nowadays, you guys can write. You can write your own stuff. You can chuck it on the internet, and I think it's clever, and it's where work's going. And so I would get heavily involved in that. I'd be as creative as I could, and I wouldn't take no for an answer. Just because you're not one person's cup of tea doesn't mean you're not somebody's glass of champagne.
Exactly. That's really great advice. So people who are watching this want to be an actress or an actor, follow her advice.
Follow it.
Yes.
My last question before we go to the fans who want to say hi to you. Do you have, well, we know cons is closed for now. Do you have any upcoming projects you want to tell your fans that you can tell your fans about?
Well, everything has stopped.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about for you guys, but here, every production has been closed down now for a good month. And we're unsure when that's going to return back. So all our daytime soaps and things, nothing's filming. I'm really lucky. So I have a home studio here. I work as a voice artist extensively in New Zealand. So I'm able to still record. So it's difficult because, I mean, I've got a booth. It's great, but I also have 3 children. So it's not ideal. It's not ideal, but it is doable. So I've not stopped working through lockdown, but there's no film, and there's no idea when shows like Lord of the Rings and things are going to pick back up. When and if for some of them. I imagine some of them will just be exhausted and fall over, which is really unfortunate.
Oh wait, so you're in that Lord of the Rings series that's happening? Or no? Yeah.
No one's in it. Oh. No, I'm not.
She's like,
okay, yeah.
Kristen, that was, what did you say? I didn't hear that properly. So anyway, that's not filming at the moment. They stopped. I'm blushing. They stopped before the lockdown even started. So it had only just started filming, and that's a huge, potentially 6 years of work, and that's not being considered an option at this point for anyone. So we have no idea when work will return to normal.
I mean, like even here at even Hollywood's like stopped production and everything. So
I heard production on the new Jurassic movies also stopped as well. Which is a bummer.
Even the new Power Ranger season, like they stopped casting. They think they are gonna cast, but like it's gonna be online now. The reveal, and they won't even start looking till next or 2 years. That's the rumor going on right now.
They're saying that they won't start filming, so because they've been filming Power Rangers 2 series at the same time, haven't they?
No, it's technically 2 seasons because I think Nickelodeon. Because I don't remember you were 40 episodes. Now they split to 2 seasons now, so it's 2020 because of Nickelodeon's contract or something with them.
Is that what happens? I'm glad
technically it's 1 season, but it's technically 2. So.
Okay. Oh right. Oh okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah, because I remember before it used to be 40 episodes per season. I think.
How many was in Ninja Storm? How many were?
I think you were 40. I remember. I think you were 40.
40.
You're 40. Yeah.
We sort of had this thing. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe 3/4 of the way through the series, there were a lot of talks about which direction it was going to go, and things got quite heated. Not for us actors because we were just rocking up and doing the work and going home, but there was a big deal. I think I'm trying to think back on it, but I think it was when Mara and I kind of went into some kind of lockdown. Did we get caught in a cage or something? I can't even remember. We went into some kind of lockdown. It was literally because they were changing scripts and they didn't know what to do with certain characters. and there was a whole lot of audience feedback that they were getting and polls that they were doing, and we were literally receiving new pages in the morning and saying, okay, this is what you're going to say now. We've changed everything. This is what you're going to say. So.
I don't quite remember. Maybe it was the spider episode.
Maybe you just blocked that out. Maybe you just blocked out the spider episode.
But anyway, so that actually ends the interview for us. We will go to fan questions now, or fan comments. So, Kat, are you ready for them?
I am so ready for them.
So, Ashu Amsu Rael, sorry if I butchered your name, bro. She says, "Hey, Kat."
Hey.
Our own Bokin at TRZ is saying, "Hello, Kat."
Hello.
Auntie Marsh Jr. says, "Love her as Kapri," or she loves you as Kapri.
I love me as Kapri too.
Morphin Network. Broken. So he's asking, "Been watching Hurricane earlier today. It's interesting how two shows have both similar and different." Oh, I ever asked you, did you watch? Yeah. So I ever asked you, did you actually watch your Sentai counterpart or no?
I didn't watch it. I've seen excerpts, which sometimes they played us, but no. But that was the Sentai version, wasn't it? Yeah. No, I didn't watch it.
What's funny is you Kapri, she had a longer strand of pink hair, but your Japanese counterpart actually had a very short strand.
Does she not have a ponytail?
No, she has a shorter one.
Not lighter to work with because that was heavy.
That cat Katrina, I remember her complaining. She said she had roadkill on her head.
It looked like roadkill on her head.
Her counterpart's helmet was actually smaller too.
Yeah, we got some good stuff. Katrina's one was originally going to be a bit different, but she didn't want to do a. So for mine, I don't know why, but I had to do the full face breathe through a straw while they mold your face thing, which isn't very nice if you get claustrophobic. Katrina didn't want to, fair enough, because it's not necessarily a very nice thing to do. So they'd made alterations. I don't know. Yeah, they were heavy headdresses.
Boken also says he's a big fan of Hercules.
Yay! Me too.
Oh, she has a good question. So she was asking, how was your role playing Kapri in Power Rangers Ninja Storm? Or basically, how did you enjoy your role? Or how was it?
One of the most fun roles I've ever played. She changed character every episode, and I got to play different people the entire way through, and I actually kind of like her journey. I do like playing villains, so I kind of wanted her to stay bad the whole time, but more like a astronomer, like somebody who just stays bad the whole time. But such a fun character to play. I feel totally blessed to have got cast as Kapri.
I'm actually glad you actually mentioned astronomer, so really good.
So she was just hardcore the whole way through.
She turned good, like in 3 episodes, but then she turned bad again because she was brainwashed.
Yeah, she did. She heard her family story, but she was raised. Yeah, I like bad characters.
You did have a great. I really enjoyed your guys' role in the Ninja Storm Dino Thunder team up. How you guys were kind of and that part where you're like where you're pulling the sensei away from Lothar, and that was hilarious.
It was fun, and turning into a good person was like So there was actually talks of for a while, really really in-depth proper talks with Doug and Anne. About Amara and Kapri spin-off, their own little show, because the characters work really well together. Yeah, so they delve quite deeply into that, but it didn't eventuate. But yeah.
It was funny when I saw you back for Dino Thunder. I was hoping that you might have become a Power Ranger in the future. I was like hoping that when I was a kid. I was like, and this is my 9-year-old self, by the way. So
right, that's cool.
So I was like, aw. I mean, technically, like. Katrina she was something like she kind of became one in the imaginary, like as a Pink Ranger, but
she did. She became. I think that's probably her most fun episode. I really loved. We had fun doing the I Love Lothar. That was a fun episode. That was a really fun episode.
That was hilarious.
Richard Ye says, "Don't know you're Narnia. Love the movies."
That's such a great series to be a part of, a franchise to be part of, the Narnia. Andrew Adamson, who directed it, is actually a dear friend of one of my best friends. So I had a little bit of a in.
Did this prop ever make it to America? This was the main villain in Hurricane. He was like a giant centipede.
I've seen that centipede.
You've seen it before?
Yes, I've seen that before. Was that not in my series?
Yeah, it was in the. We know it was in the Japanese show, and.
Do you mean the toy?
No, like, I mean,
like it was, like he was the main villain in the Japanese show, and like a form of his was used for the finale, but we never saw this guy in the show.
You didn't? I'm just thinking. I feel like I've seen. So you're saying it was in the finale? I love how you know more than I do. Yes, it was. I feel like I've seen it. So unless I was thinking about the finale, I feel like there are rooms. Are you actually just talking about the monster costume itself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the monster.
So I have seen the monster costume itself. So that's something that existed and came to New Zealand. Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Kyle Goldfinch. I love your name. Last name. Hey, Katrina. Yeah, Goldfinch. Sounds like James Bondish. I like it. Hey, Katrina. I love that photo behind you. It's really awesome. I'm just wondering what it is. Oh, I see.
Oh, behind me.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, that is. So that is. I took a photo of my son when he, maybe about 4 years ago. It's on my Instagram. If you look on my Instagram, that photo is, or a photo of that is on my Instagram. And he needed it for school. And so I just took a quick photo. And an artist, a well-known artist, saw it on Instagram and contacted me and said, do you think I could paint it? I really, really like it. And so they painted it. And that's what lives in my house. It's beautiful. It's my youngest child.
Nice. Boken's asking, did you and Kathy or other Katrina do other creative projects together after Ninja Storm Down Under? I would love to see you two do a music video together. Oh, I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, but like, listen to me, baby, don't you know? I'm an interstellar ninja. Yeah. You'd love to see us do music videos. Katrina is honestly one of my best friends ever. She is a beautiful person, a beautiful actress, a beautiful mom. And you know that, what was the person's name who just asked that question?
His name, well, he's one of our members. His real name is Mike, but we call him Boken for Japanese.
Correct. So Mike, Katrina and I both have the same middle name as well. So we're both Katrina Marie. We're both two Katrina Maries, because when we first started on set, they said, okay, we'll call you by your middle name so it's not confusing. And I said, well, mine's Marie. And she's like, mine's Marie. And so we are like this. I have done some charity work with Katrina, but nothing on film. So we've done presenting and stuff together, but we've not worked together on film. She sort of moved to Canada and stopped doing it. So, but she is still one of my most favorite people on the planet. And I was saying to Kent just before, she turned 40 yesterday? Yeah. But she came over at Christmas time, and we had her 40th birthday at Christmas, and it was mad and so much fun. Stupid fun.
Timothy Dak is saying, how was working with Grant, who played Lothar?
So Katrina and I so Grant's passed away. Gosh, the years just go by. Maybe year before last. Katrina and I used to call him Uncle Smelly, which is what we called him when we were out and about socializing, when we were on set. We called him Uncle Smelly because that uniform was really hot. And his costume. He was such a kind, loving man. I don't know that you got to see it, but like a huge wit. Like you guys always saw him. I mean, you saw him as the sensei, but you know, as Lothar under that. He had such a huge heart and was a real father figure to us, actually. Wasn't so much older than me, but like a really, really good person. I adored him. I was heartbroken when he died.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
It was really sad to hear that news.
Yeah, well, it's sort of people kind of found out at the same time that Pua died, so it was kind of like there was two people dying from Ninja Storm, and it sort of hit everyone pretty hard.
Yeah, it is sad. Terrell Diggs is asking, what's your favorite Power Ranger Ninja Storm episode? Or the one you filmed? Well, I think you kind of answered it, but I think he was here.
I love Lothar. I couldn't have had more fun, and I love Lothar if I tried. Katrina and I literally just laughed the entire way through. I don't know that we made any sense. No one could get sense from us. We just, it was fun. It was fun. Play when we got back into the TV series. The I Love Lothar 1950s, 60s show. That was fun. The singing in the part, like we just made complete dicks out of ourselves that episode. We both just went, let's just do it. Let's just be dicks, and we had the best time.
Nice. Kyle Goldfinch, man, I love your last name, bro. We want to see you in Sydney for Supernova Sydney, Katrina.
Yeah. So Kyle, I came and I did Melbourne, and I did Melbourne a few weeks ago, and then the Gold Coast, and then everyone went into lockdown. I am booked to do Sydney and what's the other one? Perth, I think. But I can't see that they are going to happen because of COVID. So next year, I'll be there with bells on because I had a brilliant time at Supernova. I met brilliant people, loved it.
Awesome.
Just hope for miracles, and maybe it could happen.
Yes.
So,
Pardon me?
hope for a miracle.
Let's hope for a miracle because, oh my goodness, I would love Power Ranger Morphicon to go ahead. I want that to go ahead.
So Boke is asking, sorry, I don't know who's this, but one of our members asking, did you get to hang out with other Australian and New Zealand actors from outside your season, such as Jungle Fury, RPM, or Overdrive?
Yeah, I did, but mostly because mostly I've hung out with them retrospectively, having done other conventions and met them, and so we've all just become friends. And things like people who did another series of Power Rangers, I would meet them at the same Morphicon, and they'd come back here to work, and so we'd all hang out. But then, I mean, I knew Emma Lahana well before. She's been around. I mean, she's a lot younger than me, but she's been around for a long time, so I certainly knew her really well. And loads of, pretty much I would hazard to say every Kiwi Power Ranger who's happened since me is somebody that I know. So it's a very, very small world. Yeah. So we do actually get a lot.
I've sometimes messaged you and asked, hey, do you know who this lady is? And you're like, yeah. I'm pretty much looking, I'm like, yeah, they're here for dinner. They're here for dinner. Do you want to talk? It's a small place. Hey, Kat, I was wondering what your fondest memories of being on set with the rest of the cast are, and if you have any. Poor, yes. Rain, I'm wondering if that's how I say your name. Hi, Rain. We were a really, really close unit, a super close unit, and obviously Katrina's one of my best friends, so lucky me. But Pua is a hard person for me to talk about, obviously because of the nature of what happened. But to me, Pua was kind and warm and gentle and hysterically funny. A huge heart and a very big soul, and the one person who kept us all laughing on set. I remember being in the second week of ninja training before we actually started training with Koichi and the Alpha team, and they were hardcore. Both Katrina and I fractured our wrists on like the second or third day because we were uncoordinated. And but Pooh was really athletic and really into it. But one day he stopped and he said, "Look, you're making. I can feel my hamstring. It's tearing." And Koichi just said, "Hey, break muscle, make longer." And we all went, oh, "Okay." So they trained us really hard. Pooh was actually a joy to be around, and the fact that he chose to take his life, I will never be okay with. So it's been an incredibly difficult thing for all of us to process. And I think of him often.
Okay, so
would I ever return? Casey, Jack Bradley. Would I return? In a heartbeat. Without hesitation. I would return to that show in a heartbeat.
Hasbro, you're watching this? Come on.
Hey, Hasbro, come on, bro. I would in a heartbeat. It's such an incredible franchise to be part of, and more fun than I've had on any other job. So yeah.
They brought the actress that played Elsa in Dino Thunder back for an episode this year, so they can make you.
Did they?
Yeah, they can have you come up.
Well, there's hope. If they need a middle-aged something, I'm their man.
Yeah, like she's playing the aunt of one of the villains right now. I was like, what?
Oh, really? Like, as in a completely non-related character?
No. What's funny, though, is, I don't know if you noticed, but they're having an anniversary season where the Dino Thunder Rangers are coming back. But I don't know if their suit actors are coming back, but their whole team, the suit actors are. So.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Why would they bring back Ninja Storm? I mean, what's their problem?
What's funny is I think they were supposed to have a Ninja Storm anniversary like 2 years ago with the Ninja Steel season, but it never happened. So I was like, oh.
I did hear whisperings of that one actually.
How was it? How was in the episode of Wild Wipeout seeing all the evil aliens being good? I remember that episode.
How was it? What? Sorry.
The episode where basically all the bad guys were good guys and the Rangers were bad guys.
Oh yeah, funny. Like I said, I would much rather. Hi Timothy. I would much rather play a bad person because they're just so much more fun. It was funny. It was funny seeing the Rangers be bad. Tory, it felt clunky, but it was sweet. It was good fun. The whole thing.
No more singing.
No more singing. Huh? Yeah. Right? No more.
So one remembers this time his name is Leonard. Hi Katrina, I recently saw you while watching Chronicles of Narnia again.
Yeah, like I was just saying before, my boys and I, so my kids are 9, 11, and 13. And they're also for sale if anyone wants them because, oh my goodness. But we watched it again ourselves and thoroughly enjoyed it. It's such a magical show. And in this day and age now when the movies are all masses of CGI and it's still got such an innocence about it. It's beautiful.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
really beautiful that you don't really see so much in storytelling anymore. Oh, hi Kyle. I thought I said, what do you think was the ratio of scripted to unscripted moments that you had on set with regards to coronavirus in Australia? Who knows what's going to happen? And one really great part with you guys. Yes. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can you? You can. All right. Hi, Kyle. Again. Yeah. You know what? Our borders are closed, and I do think that we're going to open up to each other before we open up to the rest of the world. So I do that on your shows before you know it. Hopefully, just getting over. The ratio of stuff that Kat and I did probably started off. It was 100% written, and it would have finished maybe 25% scripted, and the rest whatever we wanted to say. We made up our own words. We had our own kind of language. They didn't even profess to try it. They would say, look, in this scene, we want this and this to happen. You guys just do it. And we'd go, okay, cool. So I'm super fortunate to be able to work with someone like Kat. It's really good to bounce off and make it fun with them. So, and it's really lovely. Find me. I don't know me on social media, but find me. And when I am in Australia, I will find you.
Awesome. Actually, that's pretty much
I hear you guys. So
we're gonna do a goodbye. Yeah. So, Kat, thank you again for being our special guest.
you're so welcome.
Where can they find you in social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Browne with an E, BROWNE, Kitty Cat, at Instagram, or on my fan page on Facebook, which will be Kat Browne.
Awesome.
With a face like this on it.
And Kat, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Brown_K, and you can also find my other Instagram page, QR Ranger Book, where I show this behemoth of a book off. So, and ironically, I'm
insane.
I know, and ironically, I'm in the middle of posting Ninja Storm section. So,
of course you are.
How perfect of timing is this?
You get that published, by the way.
Yes, I am planning. At some point, I hope to get this published. So.
Yeah, I'll help you out with it. It's awesome what you're doing. It's amazing.
Awesome. And you can find me on Instagram, DancerBoy247. Yes, I am a dancer. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and Twitter at MorphinNet or MorphinNetwork. Again, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you so much for being part of it. And again, guys, thank you guys so much. Tune in this Saturday. Tune in tomorrow. We actually have a podcast tomorrow talking about a new episode of Power Rangers Beast Morpher. So yeah, guys. Again, thank you guys so much. And as we say, bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Catch you later.